I was actually in L.A. I haven't made a movie here in many, many, many years, but I happened to be here last March, was it? May, something like that? March. And my agent, who is now Nick's agent as well, gave me the script when I was getting on the plane. Terrific script. I got off the plane, called him immediately and said, what's the story of this? And he gave me the background on Nick, and I said, what else has he done? Well, he's made a documentary. And I said, And, but the script was so good. I mean, really just first rate. And he should be getting, look, all the credit, you're all filmmakers, so you know this. It started with the script. And it's just really an extraordinary script. The film is I think, is terrific, but it's because that script is so good. And he'd spent such a hard and creative time thinking, rethinking before it got to me. So that was extraordinary work that he put into it. So I said, look, let's get together anyhow and just talk. So he came up to our inn and restaurant, and
Andrew Finkelstein, who's now my agent, and Brian Young, my manager, had been talking for a while. And Andrew had read this script and really liked it, but we couldn't get the money, and we're running around trying to get it. And so he would call to check in every now and then and say, come on, you ready? What's going on? Get the money. Let's make a movie. So finally I called him up after I got it. I said, okay, I got it. And he said, okay, stand by. And I guess that's when he transmitted the script to Richard. And 18 hours later, he called back. He said, okay, he read it, he digs it, he wants to meet you, go meet him at his hotel. And I said, great, where's he staying, Mercer? And he said, no, he owns a hotel. He runs a hotel. What are you talking about? And so I didn't know he had this double life as a hotel proprietor. And I go up to the Bedford Post Inn, member of Relais Chateau. And it's this wonderful place. And there, Richard's right, super punctual always. And he's right on time. And we meet in the restaurant. There's about 50 other diners there. And we sit down, and he says, okay, I got it. Great script, but first-time director, it's a little scary. Let's talk about how we're going to do, how you see this. And so we talked for a while, and we got comfortable. And we started talking more. And we had this 3-hour meeting. And so at the end, it was getting a little loose, and he said, so, well, Nick, what do you have something you want to work on here, that you think? I said, well, the scenes with the girlfriend, maybe there's enough. He said, yeah, that on the page, that can always be a little tough. I had some ideas anyway. I thought maybe I'd be a little more aggressive. You know what, come here, stand up, and say, let's do it. And so we start, and I'm always game, so I'm like, okay, so I'm playing the mistress role. I'm reading the lines, he's reading the line, and I'm,
He was born to play that role, I want you to know. Born for it.
Thank you. I feel very flattered, as I did in the restaurant. And so I'm screaming, you're never leaving your wife, you're just using me. And he's, no, I'd come here, you're going to be with me. And and he throws me up against the wall of the restaurant in full view of the 50 diners. And he says, he looks deeply into my eyes with the Richard Gere seductive look. And I stared back and I said, I would kiss you right now. And then he stared back at me like I was crazy. And then he laughed, and he said, well, maybe we'll try it.
The way any actor works, and certainly the way I work, is that you've got to, certainly you have to fulfill the requirements of what a character does. So in this case, I didn't know much about trading or any of that stuff. So it's Nick's world. So he brought me into that world, and he used my time very well. So I really met people in situations that were really feeding what I needed to know. To play the part and to do it smoothly enough that there weren't fingers pointing at it. If someone knows something well, it's very fluid. It's second nature. So I wanted to have that kind of ease with that process. A lot of it was hanging out in offices. It was just, sometimes it was talking to people who are in this world and in many different levels of this world.
Went to the stock exchange.
We went to the stock exchange. Guy? Yeah, there was the one that whole experience was kind of wonderful. But there was one guy that it was a key kind of to the energy of it. And he's an 80-year-old guy that's working at the stock exchange. He had this amazing youthful energy, and I started talking to him about it. And he said he'd been working there since he was 17, and he couldn't imagine having another job. He said it was just play every day. This adrenaline rush of just playing and being on the edge of these deals, making the deal. look, frankly, I see the character much more like Clinton than I do like Madoff. That's Shakespearean stuff to me. It's that failed hero, that what is wrong. You know, Clinton is Shakespearean to me. What was wrong? That he had a moment where he could have done such extraordinary things, and there was that flaw. These characters of great talent and great potential, the flaws make them even more interesting. Everyone in New York has a vision, some plan that they're working on. So really, the city itself is peripheral, and that's the way this was shot. And it was maybe the first movie that I really noticed looked like New York. Now, like a Woody Allen movie like Manhattan, very different because he's looking at it, and he's telling you he's looking at it all the time, and beautiful for that.
Yeah.
But this feels like someone who's actually living in New York.